Yo, 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 what's up, all you burner stoners and potheads? This is Weedman 420 with the Weedman 420 Chronicles. How are all you vipers doing out there? Mrs. Weedman.
Mr. Weedman.
How the hell are you?
All right.
Just all right?
Yeah, like in a good way.
Well, we're about to get normal.
Hey.
You're going to be better than all right. Hey, everybody out there in the world. Hopefully you're smoking some big fat doinks while you're listening to the show. We're about to get normal, and we're smoking a home grow by our good friend Sam Wolf. Sam, thank you for this, and I'm super excited because you grew another friend of ours, Genetics, TerpFiend.
Yes.
And he's been on the show multiple times. He is awesome, breeder, extraordinaire, grower, been in the industry for a long, long time. And TerpFiend, I'm so stoked that I get to finally try one of your strains. And thank you, Sam, for stopping by our booth and throwing us. I have two other strains too that he gave us that we're going to smoke each week. So, and if you're a home grower and you want to throw Mr. and Mrs. Weedman a nug, it just has to be a nug, and we can smoke it on the show and tell everybody what it's all about. That'd be great. So we're about to light that TerpFiend. Terp Drip is the name, by TerpFiend Genetics and grown by our friend Sam. So let's smoke that up, Mrs. Weedman, and have some fun.
Sure.
I'm looking forward to it. Got a really nice smell. Beautiful nugs. I don't have much information. I try to check out Terp's website and stuff like that, but all I found was that it is cereal milk and royal glue crossbred together, and it was grown by him, by TerpFiend himself. So I appreciate this, Terp. I'm super excited, and Sam, thank you so much. So
Royal goo or glue?
Goo is the cross. So I'm super excited. It smelled great. The nugs were beautiful looking. Lots of trichomes on it. Really nice and green with a little hint of purpleness to it, but not much. It was just beautiful smelling, and just I can't wait to taste that. You having problems over there, Miss Weedman?
Yeah, I'm canoeing.
Already?
A little bit.
Oh man, that's a bummer.
We're good now. We're back in action.
Back in action. So we have some fun things going on this week, and we had some fun things go over this weekend. Mrs. Weedman and I finally got to go. I got to take her to the Hideout. And if you haven't been to the Hideout, it is a Chicago music venue that's been around for a long time. It's a little house.
I don't know how I've never been there.
I don't know how you've been there either.
I don't even understand how I never knew that was there.
Our friend Mr. G plays in a band, and he played there. He's been on the show multiple times, and he played there. So we had to go see it, and I'm so excited to take Mrs. Weedman there. They are canna friendly outside in their front little courtyard. They don't care if you smoke weed. It was great. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't been there, you haven't seen a show there, please go. I think Mrs. Weedman found another nice place.
It's a pretty sweet little spot. But we like we don't like fancy schmoozy places. We like
divey,
like kind of dive bar-y. And so this is like an old frame house that was converted into a bar, and it's just a good old Chicago bar, like a shot and a beer kind of place with a little, not even an amphitheater in back. It's like the living room has a stage.
Yeah, it's great.
It's
I
super
love it.
cool.
So quaint, so nice.
Yeah.
And Mr. G played, and
It's just Chicago.
It's just such a great. We went kind of Christmassy stuff and some of their original music. Lawrence Peters band, right?
The Lawrence Peters outfit.
Yes, and they were great. Great, tight. If you like honky tonk and you like a little like bluegrassy music, go see them. They also do. They also play at Fitzgerald's on Roosevelt and Berwyn on Sundays brunch. So it's great to see him. Great to see him finally play live. Super happy. And then, of course, we went a second time to Red Hot Ranch Burgers.
Yeah.
2 times in basically like 10 days.
Like I said, we don't really care about fancy.
No.
We ate under the L tracks in a little, burger hot dog stand. Oh my God, but it is such a good burger.
We went 2 times in 1 week.
That is a good burger.
It's a great burger.
If
you have not been to Red Hot Ranch yet and done the Red Hot Ranch burger, you're missing out. It is phenomenal. I love it. It is my new fave to go. They also do really good hot dogs, and their fried shrimps.
And their fries.
Our fries are fresh cut. They've cut them right there and put it right in oil. Like, boom, drop. Phenomenal place. And you still get a burger for $6.
Yeah.
You get a burger for $6 with fries. $6.
It's a smash,
Come on now.
It's a smash burger. It's on the griddle. Oh my gosh.
And you really like the cheese dog too.
The cheese dog was great. Just like your regular size, like beef frank in that really thick casing. And when you bite into it, it pops. Oh my gosh. So good.
This is a really nice strain.
That's really nice. It's super smooth.
Super aromatic.
Yeah.
Flavorful as hell. Nice job, Sam, growing Terp's
really nice.
genetics. Terp, you'd be proud. So on this, he did a phenomenal job. So, but really nice. And then we set up the Christmas tree on Sunday. Got our house all ready and festive, and it's really nice. The kiddos came down. We did Christmas festivities, which we hadn't done since they both lived here.
Yeah, but they were like they didn't want.
They were hungover, both of them.
Both hungover. Yeah. We usually have hot cocoa and we have gingerbread cookies. They're just out while we decorate, and the kids usually decorate. No, they just harassed me while I put the decorations up, giving me a hard time about.
Funny.
You know, like all the kids, like homemade ornaments over the years.
With their pictures on it.
Too many of our sons were on the front of the tree. I don't know. It was funny. We had a good time.
It was good to be the four of us again.
Busting
Yuki,
chops.
busting chops, having fun. We hadn't done that in a while, just the four of us. And then
I think it was pretty much busting my chops.
Well, you broke a couple balls, so of course they were going to bust your chops.
I always break the balls.
So it was great, though, to be able to do that again as a family. It's been so long, and it's like, you kind of miss that, that kind of thing. Once a year you put up the tree, put up the decorations, and the kids are running around having fun, putting up balls, and so it was nice to have the four of us do it, and it was just a good time. So
O-Dog wanted us to tell the story about when she was little.
On the show?
No, she wanted us to tell it on Sunday. We never got around to it.
Oh, when she locked us out of the house?
When she locked us out. So I think it was our first Christmas here in the house. And we've been in our home for over 20 years. So that first Christmas, our son would have been 4, and she would have been 2.
Yep.
Yes, because his first birthday in the house, he was 5. So it would have been that spring. Anyway, so they were 4 and 2, and we were decorating on probably a Sunday because that was Mr. Weedman's day off, and it had gotten dark out while we were decorating. Mr. Weedman put lights up outside. It was like the first year that those icicle lights were a thing, and he hung them. We have this kind of gingerbread-y, like, little house, so it looked super cute. And so we wanted to bring the kids out there to see the lights. So it was really cold out. So we said, we'll just wrap you in the blanket, because they were sitting on the couch watching cartoons. So we come in and we get our, can I
Polly.
say?
Just say
okay,
Polly.
Polly. We come in and get him, and we wrap him in a blanket. We take him out in front. Ooh, cool. And the next thing you know, we'd come in to get O-Dog, and the door is locked. We're like, what the heck? How is the door locked? And we're like, what the heck? We're trying. We're ding dong. She's not answering. We could see in the basement window. She was a nut. She
was mad that we went outside without her.
She was mad we went out without her, or that she didn't get to go first. So she was busy pouting. And, 6 o'clock with toddlers is like a witching hour. If you don't keep them entertained, they could fall asleep. And then if they fall asleep, it's going to just frickin' mess up the whole rest of the night. So we're looking in the basement windows like, O-Dog.
We're not looking, we're pounding.
We're like knocking, like, come on, you got to let us in. She's totally ignoring us, like sucking away on her noo-noo, watching the Rugrats on TV, ignoring us. So we finally lure her up to the door, and we're trying to convince her to open the door. She will not do that. She locked us out. She just freaking locked us out.
She did lock us out.
So long story short, we convince her to, our mailbox comes into the house. We convinced her to get keys and hand us the keys through the mailbox so we can get in the house. And it was just the funniest thing.
And we got in.
We're like, oh no, she's gonna fall asleep. We're gonna be out here all night. Oh my god.
It's funny. It's a good one. I was like a laugh for many years on that story. So O-Dog, we told it on the show, so now you can listen to it anytime you want. This week though, we got some fun stuff going on. Tomorrow, on Wednesday, we are going. I think you need to be careful with that.
Oh, should I
think
not
we should
smoke anymore?
I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we should.
I was going to light the joint
We
back
smoked
up.
half of it. I think we should wait till mid-show to smoke the rest.
You got it.
So anyway, Wednesday, you guys all probably heard this show be already done and over on Wednesday because we already launched the show on Thursday. But we are going to Blue Island Beer Company on December 6th because our friend Briggs, the Real Spliff Society, throws a once-a-month party. And he's throwing the Real Spliff Society Smoke Sesh at Blue Island Beer Company from 6 to 10. And I went last month, and it was a blast. They do a great job. It's a bunch of vendors and very cannabis friendly. and it's a lot of fun. Good beer, good weed, good people. Check it out one month. They do it every first Wednesday of the month.
It's free.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
So if you missed this Wednesday on December 6th, I'll see you there January 6th. Just find me.
Or
I'll have
sometime around there.
Yeah, find me. The first Wednesday in January. So come find me. I'll have my little rolling tray. I'll be rolling joints for people. So come by and check me out. So Mrs Weedman will be there too, hanging out, just smoke and enjoy the DJ and the music and the good vibe. So, and then what are we doing this Saturday?
This Saturday, we are going to the Uncle Stu's and Maid Gallery pop-up gallery. So there's an art show during the day from 3 to 8 p.m. in the city on Milwaukee Avenue. And that goes from 3 to 8. It's free. Music, art, culture, cool. Weed friendly. You can vape indoors. I think if you wanted to smoke, you have to find a spot. And then at 9 p.m., there is a after party, which we are going to. That's ticketed. It was $30 a ticket when we got them, and I think they had a VIP ticket for like $100, and you got like a swag bag of some sort. But that's at a different location, and don't really know what's going to go down there, but I'm sure it's going to be a good time.
We're going to be there.
We're going to be
going
there.
Down.
And it was 9 till midnight. Now it's 9 until ...
Yeah, I don't know how long I'll
So,
last, but we'll
we'll
go.
see.
We'll go. We'll go as long as
see
we
what
can.
It's all about. Yeah. Maybe we'll go for a Red Hot Ranch afterward.
Oh, 3 weeks in a row.
3 weeks in a row.
I'd get the shrimp. I might get the shrimp this time.
Yeah?
The shrimp,
I might get a hot dog.
and a cheese dog.
Do they have a pizza puff?
No pizza puff. Shrimp.
No pizza puff.
Shrimp. No pizza puff
no
for you.
Pizza puff. Hey.
Sam, very well done, my friend.
Good
We're 11
weed.
minutes into the show. Been smoking about 10 of those 11 minutes, and I'm baked. Terp, phenomenal genetics, brother. Appreciate you. Also, last episode we talked about the movies to watch, stoned Christmas movies. Sam reminded me of one that I forgot, and it's a staple in his house. You'll never guess it, but I just one, and I'll give you.
I get one guess.
Yes, and I'll give you a hint. Okay, I'll give you a hint. It's going to be a real easy hint. The first word.
Star Wars.
No, that's not a Christmas movie. The first letter in the word begins with a G. Think Christmas movie.
Gremlins?
Yes,
Yes.
very good.
You thought I would never get it.
I thought you were going to say
saw
Grinch.
Your
I
eyes.
thought you were going to say Grinch.
I saw your eyes. They're like, she doesn't know bull. She doesn't know shit. She's never going to get
It's a staple
this.
in his house, and
Yeah.
I totally forgot that
I
movie.
love it. That's
I've watched that movie so many times
I
in
don't
my
think
life.
I've ever seen it start to finish.
What is, you always say that about movies.
A lot of movies.
Yes, but I've watched
That's because
Gremlins.
I've got like ADHD, so
I've watched Gremlins 1 and 2, and I don't even remember if there's a 3, but 1, I saw it in the theater when I was a kid, and I've probably seen it at least 50 times, and I cannot believe I forgot that was a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Especially one of my favorite scenes is when the Gremlins are singing Christmas carols, and they're in they're all Christmas decked out, and it's fucking hilarious.
What year was that from? Like
The
90s?
like
80s?
85, 84. It was before I lived in New York, and that's when it was still going. So they was like 84, 85. And that was the first one. So so good. So Sam, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for getting this.
Good stuff.
That's why I told you don't smoke that whole thing. And that was a pretty fatty too. So that was a fat doink. So we need to. I'm baked. Ready to get the show started? Or try to anyway?
Let's try.
Thanks for getting me high, Sam. I appreciate it. So, defining quality, what makes a cannabis brand good? The weed we're smoking right now makes a good cannabis brand. Nice job, TerpFiend. As long as this writer is writing and seen her fair share of brands come and go, with so many SKUs on dispensary shelves, one question that this writer gets asked frequently: how can you tell if a cannabis product is good? The word good is subjective, of course, just like many things in the cannabis world. There's always room for debate. But after years on the beat, this writer developed their own criteria for determining what they like and deciding whether a brand is trustworthy enough to talk about it in public arena. Curious about what to consider before giving a brand your stamp of approval? Here are 5 of this writer's markers, and I think what we'll do is we'll read this and maybe give our own opinion too, like what we think maybe because we smoke homegrown now, so a lot, so a lot. The people behind the brand stand for something. Do you believe that?
Yeah.
When it comes to brand building,
No one's going to grow weed if they don't believe in weed.
Yeah. Those who are close to this writer know that this person loves to elevate voices and that truly deserve it. Whether it's a family-run company developing a product to help heal one of their own, or a founder seeking to make a real difference in the world, always seeking out brands run by people with pure hearts. If this writer came across someone in weed for what they deem the wrong reason, just trying to make a buck, the writer is far less likely to engage. And then on the flip side, if this writer knows a person's intentions are pure, they will hype him up as much as they can. I believe that.
I mean, there could be people who literally grow it because they want to make a living.
Of course.
But they have to people make a living doing things they're passionate about.
Yeah.
So they could, even if they're doing it just to make a buck, they can still be I think that we're not seeing that so much in corporate cannabis, but in a home grow position or a traditional market guy, if he's
family-owned businesses, I think,
craft
business,
cultivators, he's doing business,
right?
You know, he's passionate about it. He wants to have good product.
I mean,
it's going to make him more profitable.
I don't even sell my flower that I grow here, but I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate when I talk about it and I give it away to people.
I think that if you're just growing it, like hobby growing it,
right,
not as a business, I don't know anybody that would be growing it if they didn't have a passion for it.
Right, 100%.
It's not just like put it on your counter.
It takes a lot of work.
You have to buy equipment.
It takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
The source material is high quality. The next step in learning more about a product and actually trying it. Again, this writer's opinion about what weed is dank are this writer's own. But there are a few things this writer knows when they take a look at a package or a jar. If the product is flower, the writer's always curious about how it was grown. I tend to be a fan of regenerative sun-grown herb, but there are plenty of nice indoor brands as well. The writer likes to ask about the cultivation methods, what inputs were used, and whether sustainable practices were in play. Smell is also an important factor. The nose knows. And if this writer gets a naturally loud whiff of terps, I know that bud could be something special. Too much scent, and I may question if the bud was sprayed with additional terpenes or scents. Not a good sign. For things like extracts or edibles, it's about the source material used to craft the final product. For example, the writer typically shies away from things made out of distillate. This oil is essentially all cannabinoids and none of the other stuff that gives weed its unique experiences and effects, such as terpenes, flavonoids, esters, and flavorants. One may believe that more THC means a better product, but that's not the case. Having as many parts of the plant present as possible helps promote the entourage effect. Yes. And I want to thank somebody before I move on. Somebody on Spotify, you can comment on our episodes now on Spotify, and I think this person's name is called Skunk's Ass, or Skunk's Ass. And I want to thank you for commenting and telling Mrs. Weedman that she needs to find CBG RSO to help with your bone growth.
Yep.
CBG RSO. So if anybody out there can make that for Mrs. Weedman, I will be happily to participate in talking with you. Please let me. CBG we're talking about here. A phenomenal cannabinoid, great for inflammation, great for bone density, great for digestion, anxiety, cancer fighting. CBG is the mother of all cannabinoids. And we're going to help this mother over here if someone can help us out with some CBG RSO. So thank you, Skunk Ass.
Yeah.
I appreciate the information. This is the theory that all compounds in cannabis work together to create more potent experience. The products are consistent. Consistency is key to a lot of stuff. So this is me talking out the writer. Consistency is another key component. This is the writer. Unfortunately, this has been a struggle for many in the cannabis space. It's not always the brand's fault, especially when it comes to multi-state expansion. Since cannabinoids cannot travel over state lines, each market has to do its own production facility that follows individual guidelines per state regulations. Even with these challenges, some brands have been able to knock consistency out of the park. I often recommend, this writer does, this brand, and thanks to their predictability, always seem to have their stellar stuff no matter what she says they are. So I'm not going to name the brand. I'm guessing a lot this has to do with solid standard operation procedures, which Mr. Weedman hates SOPs, that set brands up for success regardless of location. I think you should have standard operating procedures when it comes to making product.
Yeah.
100%. But I think outside of that, like outside of like the industrial making of stuff, standard operating procedures, I just think you don't need outside of that. You don't need a bunch. You need a few, like 2 tree. That's about it. Not 100.
1, 2 tree.
Yeah, not 100. The packaging is cute but not cumbersome. Packaging is a complicated issue in cannabis thanks to child safety regulations, but nothing is worse than not being able to access the eighth you just purchased. Or how about like someone sent me a picture one time of a gummy tin. They like smashed it open with like and pulled it open with pliers and still couldn't get into the fucking gummy. I started laughing my ass off. It was like, how the fuck do I get in these?
I just want my gummy.
Should have made a meme out of it. It'd be pretty funny. I'm thinking about people with hand mobility issues that struggle to squeeze the package just right. Yeah, like my Ma 420. She has arthritis in her hands, so it's tough for her to open up anything. So yeah, you have to be. And that was a big thing. We've read about that in a couple articles too with cannabis packaging too. You know, it's hard for people to open it up. So once you get the package open, you should have an 8 decades jar to put your weed in or your edibles or anything you want. Right, Ms. Weedman? Yeah. So make sure you check out 8decades.com. It's Christmas time. Yeah. However, the adorable metal and tin, the buds was inside, was impossible to open. You had to push it to 2 tiny plastic tabs at the same time to pull on the lid up. So that's not always easy for people with arthritis, tremors, or other conditions affecting fine motor control. Parkinson's, right, is you have the shakes, right, with Parkinson's disease. It'd probably be hard for someone to open up those 2 like levers to get fucking in there. Oh, yeah. You have to think about that. So the COAs are on point. The certificate of analysis, that's a big one, people. You have to understand certificates of analysis is what they are, what's in your weed. You can ask for COAs. And a lot of companies are, well, I wouldn't say a lot. A few companies are putting barcodes on there where you can click on it. It takes you to the COAs. So make sure you ask to see COAs if you want to know about quality and consistency. A movement towards quality. Cannabis is a matter of taste. There is no doubt it is, but sophisticated consumers are able to develop their own checklist for determining quality. Programs like Ganjanier are helping to teach the community about these factors. Ganjanier is like a Cicerone for beer or a sommelier for wine. About the factors, nearly everything comes down to personal preference. This writer developed the criteria and hoped other people will do the same. Perhaps then the market will follow suit and recognize prospective pot critics are growing in numbers. Right now, it's a race to the bottom, but it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah, she's a good writer, Rochelle Gordon. I've never thrown her a shout out before, and I apologize. Green State. I've read a lot of her articles over the years, and she's a phenomenal writer, phenomenal journalist. So I just want to give her a shout out, Rochelle Gordon. You rock, and thank you for letting us read your articles on here. But also, once again, check out 8decades.com. It is Christmas time. 8decades.com, Mrs. Weedman's baby. We're going to be doing some specials coming up so you can get some stuff for Christmas for you, your friends, your family. Check out 8decades.com. Spelled out.
2 words.
2 words.
Not numbers.
Not numbers. Spell it out, Mrs. Weedman.
8, EIGHT, decades, DECADES.com.
There you go. Check out 8decades.com, everybody, and support Mrs. Weedman. We appreciate it. Can cannabis help alleviate the symptoms of PTSD?
Yeah. Post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is a mental health condition that affects millions of people around the world. While traditional treatment methods, such as therapy and medication, have proven to be effective for many individuals, there is growing interest in exploring alternative approaches, including the use of cannabis. PTSD is characterized by a range of symptoms that can significantly impact a person's daily functioning and overall well-being. We will explore traditional treatment methods for PTSD and set the stage for understanding the potential role of cannabis in managing the condition. PTSD is characterized by a range of symptoms that can be categorized in 4 main clusters: intrusion, avoidance, negative alterations in mood and cognition, and alterations in arousal and reactivity. So, number 1, intrusion symptoms. These symptoms involve recurrent and distressing memories, flashbacks, or nightmares related to the traumatic event. Individuals may experience intrusive thoughts or images that cause significant distress. 2, avoidance symptoms. People with PTSD often try to avoid anything that reminds them of the traumatic event. This can include avoiding specific places, people, activities, or even discussing the event itself. Avoidance symptoms can interfere with social relationships and daily functioning. 3, negative alterations in mood and cognition. PTSD can lead to negative changes in a person's thinking patterns and emotional state. Individuals may experience persistent negative beliefs or expectations about themselves, others, or the world. They may also have difficulty experiencing positive emotions and may feel detached from loved ones. 4, alterations in arousal and reactivity. Individuals with PTSD may display heightened arousal or reactivity. This can manifest as irritability, anger, outbursts, difficulty concentrating, hypervigilance, and an exaggerated startle response. Sleep disturbances are also common, including insomnia or having nightmares. Traditionally, PTSD has been treated through a combination of psychotherapy, medication, and support from healthcare professionals. Some common treatment approaches include cognitive behavior therapy, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, medication, and support groups. While these traditional treatment methods have proven to be effective for many individuals, there is growing interest in exploring alternative approaches, including the use of cannabis. Let's delve into the world of cannabis, its potential effects on the brain, and how it might be utilized as a treatment method for individuals with PTSD. As we mentioned, PTSD is a complex mental health condition that can have a profound impact on an individual's life. By understanding the nature of PTSD, we can better comprehend the potential benefits and challenges of utilizing cannabis as a treatment option. PTSD can be caused by a wide range of traumatic events. Some common causes are military personnel who have been exposed to combat situations or have experienced other traumatic events during their service, survivors of physical or sexual assault, including domestic violence or childhood abuse, as a result of their traumatic experience, individuals who have experienced natural disasters such as earthquakes, hurricanes, or floods due to the overwhelming and life-threatening nature of the events, being involved in a serious car accident such as a car crash or a workplace incident, and patients who have undergone traumatic medical procedures, received a life-threatening diagnosis, or experienced life-threatening complications. While anyone can develop PTSD after a traumatic event, certain factors may increase the likelihood of its development. Those include individuals who have previously experienced traumatic events may be more susceptible to they'd be more susceptible to PTSD with subsequent traumas. Limited social support systems, including a lack of close relationships or a weak support network, would put you at risk. Individuals with pre-existing mental health conditions, such as anxiety or depression, are at a higher risk. And the severity and duration of the traumatic event, prolonged exposure to trauma, or repeated traumatic experiences can increase your risk. And individual factors such as age, gender, and genetic predispositions may also be an influence. Understanding the basics of cannabis is essential for comprehending its potential role in managing your PTSD symptoms. Cannabis is a plant that contains numerous chemical compounds called cannabinoids. The two most well-known cannabinoids are delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, and cannabidiol, CBD. THC is primarily responsible for the psychoactive effects of cannabis, while CBD is known for its potential therapeutic properties. The cannabinoids in cannabis interact with the endocannabinoid system in your brain, which plays a crucial role in regulating various physiological processes, such as mood, appetite, pain sensation, and sleep. THC binds to cannabinoid receptors in the brain, primarily in the areas associated with memory, cognition, pleasure, and coordination. This interaction leads to the psychoactive effects commonly associated with cannabis use. CBD, on the other hand, does not produce the same psychoactive effects as THC, but has been found to interact with other receptors in the brain, such as serotonin and vanilloid receptors. These interactions are believed to contribute to its potential therapeutic effects, including anti-anxiety, anti-inflammatory, and analgesic properties. Cannabis has been used for various medicinal purposes throughout history, and its potential therapeutic benefits are gaining recognition in the medical community. The use of cannabis as a treatment method is growing in popularity, especially for conditions that are difficult to manage with traditional approaches. In recent years, researchers have been studying the potential benefits of cannabis for a wide range of medical conditions, including chronic pain, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, and mental health disorders such as anxiety, depression, and PTSD. It is important to note that the use of cannabis as a treatment method should be approached with caution and under guidance of healthcare professionals. The varying concentrations of THC and CBD in different strains of cannabis, as well as individual differences in response, can influence the effects and potential risks associated with its use. Now, you might be wondering how cannabis can help with PTSD symptoms. When it comes to anxiety and hyperarousal, hallmark symptoms of PTSD, cannabis has been reported to help reduce anxiety levels and promote a sense of relaxation. This may be beneficial for individuals who experience constant feelings of nervousness or agitation. With sleep disturbances such as insomnia or nightmares, cannabis has been reported to have sedative effects, which may aid in improving sleep quality and reducing the frequency and intensity of nightmares. With fear extinction and memory consolidation, PTSD is often characterized by intrusive and distressing memories of the traumatic event. There is evidence to suggest that cannabinoids, particularly THC, may play a role in fear extinction and memory consolidation processes. By modulating memory formation and retrieval, cannabis might help individuals with PTSD process and reduce the impact of traumatic memories. That's intense. Relief for individuals experiencing chronic pain as a result of their trauma or associated conditions. Cannabis, particularly strains rich in CBD, has been recognized for its potential analgesic properties and may provide relief from pain symptoms. And while research on cannabis and PTSD is still in its early stages, there have been several studies conducted to investigate its potential benefits. The studies have provided preliminary evidence suggesting that cannabis may indeed offer therapeutic effects for individuals with PTSD. As with any treatment method, it's crucial to consider the potential risks and side effects, which could include psychological effects, because THC strains can induce temporary psychotropic effects such as anxiety, paranoia, and cognitive impairment. You would have to consider dependence and addiction. Cannabis has the potential for dependence and addiction, which I will say the addiction part would be argued by many, particularly with heavy or prolonged use. With interaction with medications, cannabis may interact with certain medications, including sedatives, antipsychotics, and antidepressants. And you have to consider legalities. The legal status of cannabis varies from country to country, and
even county
and
to
county to
county.
county, city to city, town to town, and even within different regions. It's important to be aware of the laws and regulations regarding cannabis use in your jurisdiction. If you are considering using cannabis for PTSD, it is crucial to consult with a healthcare professional who is knowledgeable about cannabis and its potential benefits and risks. They can provide personalized guidance based on your specific needs and medical history. The relationship between cannabis and PTSD is complex and evolving. Gaining knowledge about cannabis, including its components and how it affects the brain, provides a foundation for understanding its potential therapeutic properties. It is important to note that the scientific evidence is still limited and more research is needed to fully understand the efficacy, safety, and long-term effects of cannabis use for individuals with PTSD.
That was great.
Yeah.
I know we've talked about PTSD before in the show with cannabis and stuff like that, but this went like in depth.
Yeah, I like that. It was good.
And it was a lot. We'll post this one because it was a lot more to the article. Mrs. Weedman kind of mixed and mingled it a little bit because it's a long one. So if you want to read more, we'll make sure it's posted for the show on the show notes. Mm-hmm. MJBizCon was last week, and a lot of people in the industry think the best days of cannabis are yet to come. Let's hear about it. Las Vegas. After a tough year for most cannabis operators, attendees at MJBizCon 2023 said they aren't banking on sweeping legislative reform, such as the rescheduling of marijuana to grow their business in the coming year. Rather, they are hoping for more incremental policy changes, such as safer banking and new opportunities to open in emerging state markets. They're also shifting their attitudes away from viewing fellow operators as competition, and instead looking to partner with them to find synergies. The best days are yet to come, said Jesse Cannon, Chief Commercial Officer at New York-based multi-state operator, the cannabis company formerly known as Columbia Care. There's going to be a rising tide lifts all boats moment. I believe that. If you don't believe it, that you shouldn't be in the industry. Federal reform equals industry health. Tim Swale, the executive vice president of sales at Boveda, said even through the Minnesota-based business's ancillary operations, the passage of safer banking and its implications would be a huge boost to its clients and thus would also benefit the company. Safer banking or the rescheduling of marijuana later would mean that the industry would no longer be subject to punitive Section 280E of the IRS tax code, would be huge relief to Boveda's clients and cannabis cultivators. Local market growth opportunities. The cannabis companies, Shannon said he's looking forward to new state markets opening up. Our growth catalyst is all about accessibility. As we become accessible to more consumers will have access to our products with the exponential growth opportunity. Ohio's recent vote on legalized adult use is a great example, Shannon said, and he's keeping a close eye on New York's evolving recreational market. Fazil Quasi, founder and CEO of Boulder Lamp BLI, a Colorado-based company that produces an LED grow light system that kills mold and yeast without the negative impacts of working under UV lights, said he's also anticipating the growth of state markets. Ooh, I got to read about that lighting, just to read about it. Community building and partnerships. It's very tough 2 years for Hawthorne Gardening, the cannabis subsidiary of Ohio-based lawn and garden titan Scott's Miracle-Gro. Good. Glad. They sold out. Over the past 18 months, Hawthorne has laid off roughly 1,000 people, according to Because You Sold Your Soul to Scott's Miracle-Gro. Hawthorne sales reported dropped 40% in the quarter ending July 30th, according to Scott's August earnings report, which drove down the parent company total sales by 6%. Scott's chair and CEO Jim Hagedorn said that rather than continue waiting for federal marijuana legalization, which the company initially thought would already have happened, Hawthorne's strategy now is to build a partnership with cultivators, producers, and other struggling cannabis companies. We're talking about Ellis Island. Like the huddled masses, we're going to build a colony of every company that's not worth shit, Jim Hagedorn said, referring to the low stock prices in the cannabis industry. We're going to build a completely integrated pot business. California-based legacy brand THC Design attended MJBizCon as a company for the first time this year with similar perspective. Our biggest goal here is to start to network with lots of our peers. THC Design President Marlon Carbon said it's obvious been a tough few years for the industry in general. It was good, though, when people got that free money and they were spending all their money on cannabis. People were happy back then, right? Because it was free. Nothing in this world is free. Don't you understand that? Nothing except for the air you breathe. And one day, if the government could charge you for that and tax you for that, it's going to cost us. So it takes time, energy, money. I saw a lot of people posting stuff about MJBizCon, and we're there. We haven't gone yet. Maybe one day we'll go. But I mean, this is what it's all about. Big corporations, small businesses coming together to find out what's going to happen next year and see what new products are coming out and who did well in 2023. And, you know, there's more and more that's going to be across the country and across the world eventually. Eventually you'll have like global cannabis, like somewhere in maybe Italy, you'll be going for a global cannabis thing, or Germany or Malta or Luxembourg, Australia, where there'll be global.
Like a Cannabis Summit.
Yeah, globally. I mean, it's probably a small one somewhere now, but eventually they're going to be big ones. That'll be a party when we can all go globally and smoke cannabis anywhere we want. 420 for everybody then. I posted this. So medical cannabis doesn't impair cognitive function. This is a good little study.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got the word right too, everybody.
Very good, very good. A new study suggests that cannabis, when used as prescribed to manage a chronic health condition, does not negatively impact cognitive function. These new findings are said to contribute a vital piece to the puzzle in assessing the safety and efficacy of medical cannabis treatment, especially with respect to cognitive function. Researchers at Swinburne University of Technology's Center for Human Psychopharmacology in Australia conducted an open-label trial in which 40 patients with various health conditions self-administered a standard dose of prescribed medicinal cannabis as described by the label. Participants were prescribed a range of products, including orally administered oils and flower for vaporization. The most common indication for which cannabis was prescribed was chronic non-cancer pain, followed by sleep disorders and anxiety. The researchers assessed cognitive performance using the Cambridge Neuropsychological Test Automated Battery, or CANTAB, and the Druid app, as well as subjective effects before and after consumption. Patients chose from adjectives such as stoned, sedated, relaxed, comfortable, anxious, and confident to describe the effects. The results showed that participants' performance improved over time on the CANTAB multitasking test and rapid visual information processing test, while all other cognitive performance measures were non-significant. Vaping was associated with significantly stronger subjective feelings of stoned and sedated compared to oils. Commenting on the findings, lead researcher on the study, Dr. Thomas Arkell, said, "We already know that non-medical cannabis can impact memory and attention. However, our findings show that patients prescribed medical cannabis by a doctor don't experience the same effects. This could indicate that patients develop tolerance over time, akin to what we see with other psychoactive medications like antidepressants and benzodiazepines. The research also found that patients might become tolerant to the potentially impairing effects of delta-9 tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, the primary psychoactive component of cannabis. It could also mean that patients experience some alleviations of their symptoms, such as pain, after using medical cannabis, which might lead to a normalization of cognitive function," Dr. Arkell continued. That's interesting. While this research marks a critical step in understanding the impact of prescribed medical cannabis on cognitive function, the result cannot be generalized to non-medical cannabis or non-prescribed medical cannabis use. The study emphasizes the distinction between prescribed medical cannabis and its non-medical or non-prescribed counterparts. Dr. Arkell added, "These findings have real implications for many thousands of Australians who are now prescribed medical cannabis to manage a chronic health condition." So,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I found a song by the Black Keys and Ohio. Talking about Ohio. And Ohio senators now. Now, get this. Your constituents of your state voted to legalize recreational cannabis. And on this Thursday, it's supposed to take effect, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But the Ohio governor and the House and the senators want to change the bill in a lot of different ways.
I saw that.
Right?
Yep.
Ohio, you cannot let this happen. You just can't. You cannot let this happen. You cannot let them change any of it. You voted for this. And the biggest thing, besides they're trying to give like all the tax revenue to like all these different police unions and all the way, just same thing like Illinois did. Like half of that money goes to all these like bullshit stuff. And I'm telling you right now, first and foremost, don't let that happen. That tax money should be going to helping people understand cannabis better. There should be schools, free schooling for cannabis. This should go back to the workers in the cannabis industry as a pension program. None of that should go to the government because they've been fucking you for so long and arresting people and just the war on drugs. I mean, none of it. Okay, first and foremost, and they're going to take like all of it. Second, they're trying to take away home grow. And they're saying that it's bad that people that home grow wind up ending on the traditional market. It's like 1%. Okay? They're trying to take that your right to grow this wonderful plant. You should be able to grow it anyway, without their permission or not, but that's besides the point. And then they're trying to cap your THC limit to like 25%. Everyone's going to go right back to Michigan again.
Yeah.
You have 48 hours. But by the time you hear the show, it's probably going to be Thursday. So it is now Tuesday, December 5th. Thursday, okay, the law goes into effect in the morning. They have one more day to get this done, to try to fuck you all over there, Ohio. And Columbus, the 3 Cs, Akron, Youngstown, Dayton, and everybody else in that state, all those counties and cities that I didn't mention, I apologize. It'd take me a while to remember them all. But Columbus, still one of Weedman 420 Chronicles' biggest listener base audience. Thank you. You have to fucking fight this. Do not let them do this to you. Do not. All of this garbage. Somebody stop them from even meeting the next couple of days. I'm telling you. Ohio, you can do it. You can do it. I believe, Ohio, that they will not change this law on you and have time to do it in. Little old Antioch, Illinois, becomes the first non-home rule community to ban stores from selling unregulated THC products. That little old Antioch, they got a really good bakery up there.
Yeah, they do.
And what's it called again?
Lovin' Oven?
Lovin' Oven or
something
so.
like
Oh,
that? Yeah.
so good. On your way to Wisconsin, stop it and buy their raspberry cheese coffee cake.
It's pretty sweet.
Oh, it's like a cheesecake raspberry just coffee cake. It's wonderful. Massive marijuana grow operation with booby traps discovered in Tennessee church.
Booby traps.
Booby traps.
Booby traps.
Booby traps.
Goonies.
Goonies. Data. So they discovered this grow in Tennessee. You know, it's just terrible. It's even illegal, but they sell so much CBD in Tennessee. No one gets in trouble for that. So, I mean, it's the same plant, everybody, basically, in so many ways. It doesn't matter. Just foolishness, Tennessee. You could make it legal. Make it medical. In Minnesota, this Eden Prairie Police Department will test drivers. They suspect they've been using marijuana with a saliva testing system. It's coming. It's coming, everybody. So, little old Arkansas, proud of you. Your medical marijuana sales surpassed $1 billion since 2019. That's pretty good, Arkansas. Love it. New legislation to allow home-grown cannabis in Jersey. The place I was born. Let's go, Jersey. Let's fucking go. Do it. Let people grow. Ugh. Because especially in the counties that don't allow it, man, that's great for somebody to home grow so they don't have to drive. Get weed. Nearly 70% of Florida voters support marijuana legalization ballot initiative, with majorities of every demographic in favor. Of course. It's going to be huge. And I don't like Florida's laws, period, because they only let MSOs own everything. And what's crazy about that fucking state is you own the cultivation and you own the dispensaries, and you can only, as far as I know, you can only sell to your own dispensary. You own the cultivation, you sell your dispensary. I think that's the law. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the law. It's stupid. Talking about a monopoly. Jeez. California rakes in $269.3 million in cannabis taxes in Q3 of 2023. $269 million in taxes.
Wow.
Why is there so many homeless people in that state?
I don't know.
Be just crazy. Young adults report significantly lower rates of alcohol and tobacco use following marijuana legalization, study finds. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Good for you. And then Senator John Fetterman, Democrat of PA, one of the most boisterous cannabis supporters among U.S. senators, recently said he was honored to vote for the Safer Banking Act, and saying that he doesn't see it's a no-brainer, that they can definitely see it possibly moving forward with the decriminalization this year. So we'll see, or next year. So we'll see. Who knows? Lab testing.
Yeah.
There's some funny business going on with lab
funny
testing.
business going on.
I posted this the other day. A couple people commented going, seriously? I'm like, yeah, man. This has been going on for a hot minute now.
Yep. A marijuana lab testing analysis finds routine THC inflation and data manipulation. The THC potency of marijuana flower sold in legal stores in 4 states is routinely and systematically inflated, sometimes by as much as 25% or more, according to an independent analysis of licensed cannabis testing laboratory data obtained by MJBizDaily. But perhaps even more troubling, the analysis conducted by Yasha Khan of MCR Labs, a state-licensed cannabis testing laboratory in Massachusetts, also found evidence of data manipulation in lab testing for yeast and mold. The analysis suggests that tainted products that should have been failed for contaminants and destroyed or remediated instead was passed and eventually sold by legal retailers. In addition, confirmation that THC potency inflation is running rampant and often unchecked across legal U.S. marijuana markets also stands to undermine consumer confidence in product labeling. That, in turn, can harm the $34 billion legal cannabis industry's credibility, while also breaking one of marijuana legalization's core promises of reliably testing and having safe products, critics say. Khan of MCR Labs, vice president of marketing and data science, obtained anonymized lab testing results from Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, and Oregon. Oregon.
It is where to go.
Oregon. He then applied basic data forensic tools to identify and quantify abnormal results. Khan presented his findings to an online meeting of state regulators on October 26th. Several officials who attended confirmed to MJBizDaily. Industry observers contacted by MJBizDaily say Khan's analysis is the first known attempt to quantify across multiple legal markets what's acknowledged in cannabis circles as a widespread dirty secret. The THC percentages printed on product labels in legal stores is often grossly inflated.
Grossly.
Principals of other labs who reviewed Khan's work told MJBizDaily the methods were sound and the results are a welcome quantification of a known problem, even if the implications are troubling. This is the scientific approach we've been trying to get for a long time, said Josh Swider, the co-founder and CEO of San Diego-based Infinite Chemical Analysis Labs. This is not mistakes being made, Swider added. This is fraud. Lab shopping, in which marijuana product manufacturers and retailers seek out testing labs that will return friendly results in the form of high THC ratings, has been prevalent in the cannabis industry for years. In a study conducted in 2018 to 19, but published just this year in the journal PLOS ONE, researchers found that marijuana flower purchased in Colorado had substantially lower THC potency than was advertised on the product labels. In 23 samples obtained from 10 Colorado retailers, the average observed THC potency was 23.1% lower than lowest label reported values and 35.6% lower than the highest label reported values, according to researchers at the University of Northern Colorado's School of Biological Sciences.
And you don't want us to be allowed to home grow. You kidding me?
Marijuana sold with unreliable THC potency is an issue in every medical and recreational state, Khan told MJBiz Daily via email. Routine and runaway THC potency inflation undermines consumer trust and confidence in the regulated market. It contributes to a situation that retailers, cultivators, and sophisticated consumers acknowledge but claim to be unable to stop. And unchecked contaminant testing data manipulation allows unsafe products to enter the market and puts consumers' health at risk, Khan said. The findings highlight how the promises of verifiable product safety that convinced voters and lawmakers to legalize adult use and create today's legal market have led to a vicious cycle that many industry insiders accept as a normal business arrangement. Consumers looking for the best bargain for limited dollars gravitate toward marijuana flower with the highest THC percentages. They do this even as cannabis competition judges and other connoisseurs have insisted for years that the THC percentage is not an indicator of quality or even the strength of the high. In response, retailers purchase high THC flower from product suppliers who in turn are known to go lab shopping, where they present their flower for testing to multiple laboratories and then use the best result. Laboratories face market pressure to present friendly results and otherwise risk losing business to labs willing to flout rules if they don't. Most insiders will readily admit to all of this, at least in private. Yet it's a cycle no business or regulator has been able to break. Khan obtained data from 4 states via public record requests or open data. The data includes potency results from nearly 400,000 flower samples tested by 70 different labs. Some of the samples also included contaminant screening results, and the data was anonymized. No labs or product makers are identified. In some cases, labs presented what looked like a normal distribution of THC results, but with the average result inflated by 25% versus other labs that tested the same flower, suggesting labs with normal-looking data distribution could be inflating results. But Khan also identified selective THC inflation that could be as high as 50%, meaning marijuana flower that tested at 14% THC is labeled as 21%. He also found some labels presented a spectrum of results with multiple humps or peaks, suggesting selective data manipulation for particular clients or samples rather than across-the-board inflation. Those peaks were also suspiciously tied to round numbers, such as 25% or 35%. He also found irregular distribution and testing for yeast and mold. He found labs that overrepresented results right before the fail point, suggesting labs succumbed to market pressures to pass products that ought to have failed. Khan presented his findings via video chat on October 26th to a subcommittee of the Cannabis Regulators Association, a nonpartisan organization of government officials. And while regulators were aware labs were presenting questionable results, confirmation that potency inflation is a problem across the country emphasizes that there's a big problem here, Standiford said. What the data doesn't show is what labs are doing to produce questionable results, noted Zachary Eisenberg, Vice President of California Licensed and Resco Laboratories in San Francisco. There are a number of games you can play in the laboratory or otherwise to inflate results, he said. That puts regulatory bodies in a really hard place to regulate labs and prove that a lab is cheating. Eisenberg is chair of a cannabis working group at the American Council of Independent Laboratories. The trade association representing commercial testing labs has been attempting to sound the alarm about problems with cannabis testing for years. He and Swider, who is the group's vice chair, have sent letters to California regulators and raised the issue at conferences with limited results. In the meantime, Eisenberg and Swider told MJBiz Daily that their labs have lost nearly all of their cannabis testing clients, who have fled to other labs that will fudge results in ways that they will not. Other laboratories, including Khan's MCR Labs, also said that they have lost business for refusing to inflate THC numbers or fudge data to allow tainted products to pass. Eventually, it's just going to be a race to the bottom, he added. Only the people willing to play the game will stay in the business. That's pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean,
the industry's only getting bigger.
Yeah.
So they need to nip it and fix it.
I mean, it's been talked about for a while now. You know, now this is just more proven data and facts, you know, that this is happening. You know, I mean, I don't know. It's just, that's why I believe so heavily in homegrown caregiver programs, because you can get trustworthy stuff. You know, we've talked about it for a while, that it's not always about THC percentage. But if you're spending the kind of money you're spending at dispensaries, and this isn't the dispensary's fault.
Weed that does a job.
Right. But not even just weed that does a job. You want to make
Quality.
sure you're in the correct
safe.
Numbers and not being lied to. If you're if in this state here, you're paying for THC percentage on your taxes.
Oh, so that's their incentive for increasing the THC.
It's more so on carts, though, but still, that's the point. I mean, if they're testing cartridges, too, and they're telling you it's 85%, is it really? And I'm not blaming the dispensaries on this one. They're getting sold a bill of goods, too. And here in Illinois, you pay for that THC percentage. So you're paying a heavy tax on that. And you're paying $100, $110, $120 for cartridges. Because of that THC percentage tax. It's a lot of fucking money. You know, and if some states are charging for THC percentage all around, you know, you're getting, and they're saying that it's 35% or 30%, and it's actually really 18%. You're getting fucked. You're getting hosed.
Yeah.
You know, so you're putting your faith and trust in people that are trying to make money. You know, it's a little bit different, you know, when they're trying to make money the wrong way instead of the right way. So, great article, though. International news, Victorian Treasurer expresses support for decriminalizing cannabis as senior leaders admit use. This is from the Victorian Treasurer Tim Pallas says he supports moving to a health-based response to cannabis, telling reporters, I don't think a criminal approach is the best. Good for you. That's a great line right there. Healthy approach to cannabis. Data shows that almost 40% of Victorians have used cannabis at some stage. We encourage our political leaders to reflect on the needs to progress cannabis laws reform in Victoria. That's dope. Let's do it. Canadian province looks to double cannabis store cap to 150. The Ontario government is proposing a number of significant legislative and regulatory changes to its cannabis framework that says it would combat the illegal market. The province plans to make amendments to Ontario Regulation 4618 under the Cannabis License Act 2018 that would effectively increase to 150 the number of stores, retailers, and their affiliates are allowed to operate. The current limit right now is 75, so they want to double it. Germany, top health officials defend marijuana legalization bill against critics ahead of next week's vote. And I heard it might even get pushed a little further, so we'll see. Come on, Germany. You're lagging behind. The biggest importer of weed in the world, and you're still lagging behind. Should tell you something. Rohan Marley.
Yeah.
I love this title. He talks to Herb, but this title right here is just, who gives men the right to say that God's plant is illegal?
That's right.
Amazing. Right there. I've said that. I've said that a lot of times.
Yep.
Angels in those leaves, baby.
So, those were the words of Rohan Marley, and the sentiment underpins the ethos of Lion Order, his own cannabis and CBD lifestyle brand. Rohan elaborates, human beings in general always find ways and means to enhance life. And one day, a man of great wisdom discovered the cannabis plant. When it's consumed, it brings on a more euphoric feeling of love and unity, brotherhood and family. That's why we Rastafarians see cannabis as a sacrament, a plant that was given to us by the Almighty God, just like every other plant. Rowan's bond with cannabis traces back to the rhythmic heartbeats of Jamaica, deeply anchored in the Rastafari culture. As he recounts, growing up in Jamaica meant watching every day the cannabis culture through the Rastafari culture and just Jamaican culture in general. This culture taught him that the herb was a great component to the Rastafari movement. Yet, like many things in youth, the full depth of the plant's potential eluded him. Rowan's early years saw him partaking in rituals, watching the Rastaman smoke, and joining the circle to smoke the chalice. However, he admits, I could not comprehend what I was receiving at that time in regard to the medicinal component. Over time, he began to truly appreciate its medicinal benefits and spiritual essence, understanding cannabis not just as an herb, but as a plant medicine. Much like shamans from South America, he believes in the deep, transformative properties of the plant, bridging those two worlds together. Rowan ventured into the cannabis business world with Lion Order, but his odyssey wasn't solitary. Jan Velour, the leader behind the Velour Group and lead investor in Marley's company, journeyed alongside. If Rowan embodies the brand's spiritual ethos, Jan provides its business foundation, ensuring the core values remain unshaken. For Jan, cannabis has provided both a personal solace and a managerial aid amidst the challenges of steering 14 corporations. I would be a far less effective manager if it were not for cannabis's role in my life, he confesses. Together, Rowan and Jan have sculpted Lion Order with a philosophy that highlights unity and purpose. Marrying spirituality with business is no easy feat, and it doesn't matter what we're doing, it's got to be true to self, Rowan adds, emphasizing the authenticity they strive to bring to the brand. Rowan often leans on the Rastafarian concept of I and I when juggling spiritual convictions with commerce. This tenet, which sees the divine in all, suggests that a business can't be a soul's extension. In their eyes, cannabis is elevated beyond a mere commodity. It's a sacred bond. Jan's underlining the need for consistent quality ponders. How can it be such a sacrament if brands differ so much in quality and consistency from state to state? Rowan emphasizes his commitment to consistency, sharing the company's rigorous testing practices. When you smoke our King Clem in Michigan, it should feel the same as in California, New York, or Florida.
That's not easy to do.
Right? Confronted with advocating for cannabis legalization in front of Congress, Rowan leans on spiritual and historical arguments, while Jan offers pragmatic comparisons. Their shared vision is evident when Rowan illuminates the term Lion Order. More than branding, it's a life philosophy, a commitment to spiritual and societal responsibility. Diving deep into Lion's origins, one can feel that it's drenched in Rastafarian principles, underscoring spirituality and community. We're Rastafari. We're a movement, Rowan declares with pride. A significant influence in the legacy of Bob Marley, Rowan's father. However, Rowan's inspiration is drawn less from the celebrity and more from the man, the advocate of love, unity, and peace. It's about love, it's about peace, and it's about existing on this planet as brothers and sisters, he passionately conveys, echoing the ethos of his father. Rowan urges everyone to keep an eye on Lion Order. We are a movement about peace and love, and we aim to set a new standard in the market. So they're not in Illinois yet, but next time we're in Michigan, we'll have to
take a look for it.
Yeah,
good for him. It's legacy right there.
Yeah.
You know, the holiday season, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you survive it? Here's some crucial cannabis hacks for surviving this holiday season.
Okay.
Have a dedicated supply.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have enough weed, especially if you're like me and you like to share weed, a lot of it. I come rolling in with 8 joints rolled where I go, you know, now, and edibles. So, I mean, or I just bring my briefcase with me. So, double down on storage options. Double down on them. You know, just make sure they're, you know, you go walk into a family's house that might not approve. Make sure you have 8 decades jars with you because they're smell proof. Right? Mm-hmm. There you go. Sorry, just got to plug Mrs. Weedman like crazy. She pays me. Be discreet, but not too discreet. I think that makes sense, right? Mm-hmm. Time your high accordingly. You don't want to walk out to get high when they're unwrapping presents. It's kind of rude. You know what I'm saying? Like right after dinner, go for a stroll. Mm-hmm. Maybe before dinner, before apps come out. Before dessert, yeah. Before presents.
While everyone's having dessert.
Yeah. Take a walk, go outside, go to your safe smoke place where, you know, just people understand. People know. I mean, I've been doing it for a long time. Some people knew and some people didn't. Pull out some throwback toys. Bring some old school games out. And then bring some old school fucking weed out too. Maybe you got your old fucking bong from when you were in high school tucked away somewhere. You know, you need an old pipe, an old one hitter. Bust out some of the fun stuff and then bust out some fun games. We like playing. We're into backgammon again.
Yeah, we are.
And we like Uno.
Yeah.
We like Yahtzee.
Dominoes.
Yeah, we like the train.
Yep.
So, you know, so we like having fun. I mean, bust out some fun games. I mean, if you're a gamer too, I mean, if you like to play, what is that one on the Switch? What's that one game we play all the time, but that you just need your phone?
Yeah, I don't know the name of it, but that one's funny.
Yeah,
it's like a trivia.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. So, Jackbox. Jackbox. That's fun too. So, now, I don't know about this. This one's a good one. Real quick, though. Be smart about where you smoke. We've talked about that. But this one here, I don't know. It says here, don't leave anything behind. Now, Mr. Weedman here would always leave something behind if I knew that person was a smoker. I'd put it in a little box or, you know, give them a joint, say, put this in your drawer for when you're ready. You know, just be careful. You know, if you're going to someone's house that doesn't like it or they got kids and stuff, make sure you take all your doobage with you, you know? Your doobage. So, but yeah, that's some holiday hacks because it's coming. I mean, it's the 5th of December right now, and I know how fast November went. You know, yeah, right? It was like you blinked and it was fucking Thanksgiving. So you're going to blink and it's going to be Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So, or whatever you celebrate holiday-wise in December. There's a lot of holidays in December, isn't there? There's Hanukkah, there's Christmas, Kwanzaa, right? Yeah, there's three. There's a couple more I think in there too. I can't remember them all, and I apologize if I don't remember them all. But there's a bunch of holidays in December. So, I mean, no matter what you celebrate, if you're a weed smoker, you're a weed smoker. So just take this as a hack for surviving any holiday, no matter what you celebrate. So, yeah, that was some good weed. I like to thank Sam for sponsoring the show with his phenomenal grow. I've got 2 more strains to smoke coming up that you gave me. I appreciate you stopping by the booth twice in 2 days. We got to see you and your son Danny. It was great. So thank you so much, Sam. And I forgot the gremlins. Won't forget it again. So, Ms. Weedman, that's the end of the show.
Yeah, Mr. Weedman.
Got anything else to say?
We will have some fun stories after this weekend, I'm sure.
Always.
And if anyone's going to be in the city, stop by the events that we're going to be at. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, I'll have some joints. I don't know. Am I able to bring my briefcase with me to Saturday one? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
I'll bring it anyway and leave it in the car. Just in case. Everybody out there in the world, we love you. Be kind to one another. Give each other a hug. Man, just be nice. Love one another. Got too much pain and suffering going on in this world right now, and I just dislike seeing it every day. I love you all out there. As Paulie always says, smoke smart, puff puffing away.
Puff puff pounds.
Check out our cannabis lifestyle brand online at 8decades.com. Our custom smokes and accessories are perfect for your coffee table, bedroom nightstand, or kitchen counter. They're designed for you to show them off. The Canna community is also loving our hemp and cotton blend t-shirts, sweatshirts, scarves, and hats, finished off with our 8 Decades logo. We've got some awesome, long-lasting goods that will be your favorite for years to come. 8 Decades, because a 9th decade of cannabis prohibition isn't acceptable.